Will you be back for dinner? Yeah, probably.
I've been saying all your names, and I've got no sound. I thought I'd pressed it.
Faulty Towers moment already. Ta-da!
It's a Faulty Towers moment already. Okay. Oh, yeah. I am so sorry, girls, and boys, and anybody else.
And mummies and daddies.
It's my beautiful, it's my wonderful dulcet tones that you've been missing, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yes. So I'm going to lean back here.
It's so funny that they know how to turn you off from over there.
I know.
Just relax.
I've got to relax.
That's it. I'm
relax.
with you.
Okay, Mr. Faulty, no sound. Okay, yeah. Okay. It was a silent movie. In fact, what's very important is it up on again. And don't forget to
Lip reading.
lip reading.
Hello!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this wonderful June 22nd, 2021. We got a little bit of news for you today. The local government has just met, and we've got some news there from Tenerife.
We do.
But also we do have a fantastic topic today. Did we come up with it, or did somebody come up with it?
We mentioned it last week.
We mentioned it last week,
At some point,
yeah.
and we said, well, that would be a good topic.
Yeah, regrets or no regrets, I think is the one, right? That's a very broad subject, but I'm sure we can attack it at multiple angles.
Oh, yeah.
Cleo's got some information.
She does.
What we're actually going to do, we're going to go to Cleo first, if that's all right.
Yeah,
'cause
for the
it's
breaking
news.
Yeah.
And then, but we're not going to dwell on it. That means we're not going to answer questions.
No,
Because we'll just tell you exactly what we know, and when we know
because
more,
it's still evolving.
it is still evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to make Cleo the star at the moment. Oh, solo Cleo.
Do I get a Colgate ring of confidence?
You do. Bing.
I've always wanted one of those.
You get a Colgate ring of confidence.
Okay. Very quickly, I was nearly late because the regional government were having a press conference, which they do every third, on levels. There are levels in different islands in terms of restrictions, and Tenerife, not surprisingly, has just gone up to level 3. So it is the island with the highest level. Now, there are 2 more levels, which we don't even want to talk about.
No.
There was some push from the island government, so the Tenerife government, they were hoping that they could say to the regional government yesterday, we'll bring in more restrictions if you leave us at level 2, because
Could
it's
you just
bad
explain what
news.
the government tier is?
Yeah, of course I will. So, of course it's Spain, so therefore there are gazillion levels of government and bureaucracy to go through. Very simply here, you have a regional government. So that's the government of the Canary Islands. And they are deciding at the moment into which level an island is at. And that a level will mean kind of what kind of restrictions you have in terms of how many people you can have for dinner, whether you can have indoor activities if you're a hotel, like singing and dancing and entertainment. Then you have each island has its own smaller government. So we have a government of Tenerife. It's called a cabildo.
Cabildo, okay, yeah.
And then, of course, within each island, you have boroughs and town halls. So they would be the three relevant within 72 hours of before she travels and she gets a free test. It's good.
That's good.
Jose has his 2 vaccines, so he's got his cert. So he doesn't need anything. And then we panic about England in September.
In September.
Brianna's going to live there.
Okay, I think we've got you on at the moment. Let me just turn these off. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like you're back on. Let me just get the other cameras back on. Share the camera.
Well, we're getting there.
We are getting there.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley.
If anybody who's from Ireland is listening or watching, they'll know it's Dunalin on Brisha Show.
Dunalin, a British show.
Please apologise for this interruption in the service. When the little test card would come up on the television.
Patience.
Oh, golly gosh. You're online at the moment, so if you want to talk.
I'm talking. I'm
Uh-huh.
talking to my favorite person, Christine.
Thank
My
you.
second favorite one.
Do you regret the fact that we had a little breakdown there?
No, absolutely not. I think it's always good to even improve what you want to say. Right? So, would you regret if we go back to level 3, Christine?
I personally wouldn't, because I don't do anything, so.
Well, you do a lot because you are always keeping your patience, and that's patience is not really waiting. It's not only waiting.
It's just there.
It's also keeping good attitude while waiting.
Yeah.
And I think you are doing an amazing job at that. You are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you probably do more than you realise.
Yep. That's it.
I mean, you have a very active social life, Chris.
Yeah.
Really.
More than I have.
You are everywhere.
Mate, work, home, sleep. Work, home, sleep.
And then the dreams. Don't forget about the dreams
Yeah,
where she's
they're
going.
fantastic.
Well, she's going all
I
wild.
can't get the cameras back, kids. It looks like we're going to be one camera.
All right.
Let me just try. Oh, golly gosh. Give me 2 seconds, girls.
Yes.
Share this camera. Add a source, a camera.
You know, the wolf there is looking at me.
Oh. It's not bad, it's not.
37.
It's
okay.
okay. It's good.
So 192.
Vale, it's saying, so, cierra la hostelería interior y se limitan las reuniones.
¿A cuántas personas?
Well, I was looking, in general, if it's level 3, it's just to 4 people.
Well, that's good enough for 4 people then. 168.
I was thinking, just as Pew, P-H-E-W. Okay.
Plus 1 dot 37. Return. Connect. Okay, so we've got this one back for the girls there. I've just got to get Cleo's picture back now. This is 38.
What's wrong with her?
You must have dropped your caption.
Sorry.
Let's see, 192.
Ya
Dos.
está hecho, José. Te
168.
hablamos en privado después.
Dot 1. Dot 38.
Ya está hecho, José.
Connect.
Sorry, I'm just. Are we online or not? Can we talk?
We are
privately?
live now.
We are live, so I can't say what I was going to say about you.
And you are soloed. Oh, solo Cleo.
Oh, solo mio.
So,
I
ladies
love
and gentlemen,
news.
what happened? Just to give you an idea what happened. Why is this pointing at? Okay, what happened was I put in a repeater and the repeater died. So then everybody lost connection, and so now I've taken the repeater off. Now we're going to the main thing through the walls, and it's working. So I shouldn't have bought the repeater anyway. So
Waste of bloody
a
time.
waste of bloody time. Yeah. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, where were we? We got 122 people.
They're stuck with us. Aren't
They've
they
stuck
fabulous?
with it. They are fabulous people.
Woo!
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. We're all side by side now. We're going to say thank you very much for sticking with us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
And
for
before
your
we-
patience.
And before we go into the thing today, we're going to go back to Cleo.
All right.
And we're just going to say we're at level 3.
We're at level
there
3.
are different.
We believe that this news is still being
Yeah.
announced, but
Right.
in general, level 3 means meetings of friends, of groups of friends, will be limited to 4 people from different households. They're saying inside events will be suspended for now. So I imagine, I'm not sure, but I imagine that would mean indoor concerts, gigs. But again, that will all be. It's being published right now. So obviously the government had this ready. It is being published on their webpage, the Gobierno de Canarias webpage right now.
Uh-huh.
It'll be in all the papers first thing in the morning.
Okay.
But events, I know a lot of bars are going to really have dread in their head.
Well, I know
tonight
Rick and
because-
Shelley have just sold out a Saturday night show in a bar.
Yeah,
So-
I've no idea if that's going ahead. Tracy Cutting, great performer,
And not only
has
that,
put together
but-
a Michael Jackson
Yeah.
show for this weekend. I've no idea what's going to happen.
And not only that, but they probably sold tickets at 6 per table or even 10 per table.
No.
And now it's only 4 per table.
Four.
So and it's only 30% inside.
50%, I think, on level 3.
Can we
But
sit
again,
inside at all in level 3,
But they're.
or is it only outside seating?
You see, they're saying I am literally. People will see me looking at my phone. What I'm doing is I'm going onto the website of the Diario de Visos, which is the local paper. They're saying hostelry inside of hostelry will be closed. So indoor seating, according to this, is closed
Is closed. Okay, and outdoor is 4 per table
and 50% capacity.
and 50% capacity.
Now
So-
this is breaking news. So if I get it wrong, or if you see some different information within an hour, don't blame us. But
Okay.
we're kind of running with it right now.
So that's what level 2 was earlier, but there's no curfew, right?
No, because curfew. This is the thing that get our heads around, and this is about masks too. There are certain rules that are kind of nationally imposed or lifted.
Mm-hmm.
A curfew was part of the state of emergency,
Gotcha.
which was a national state of emergency, and that ended. And when that ended, curfew ended,
Uh-huh.
because that's seen as limitation of human rights.
Okay, Dan just came on. Let me just see if I can get Dan in. Can you hear me, Dan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
How are you, Dan?
Well, let me
Hey,
just,
Dan.
Conna sa tátu?
Hi, Daniel.
Mark Tussa.
You're gutted.
here's
The
good.
Thomas Gamma August Tussa.
Agus bé héin tá mé go má freisin. Gur míle maithagat.
Are you getting anything back there, Tim? Because I don't know why my headphones aren't working.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you hear me coming back on, or like an echo or anything? No?
No.
No?
Okay, that's good.
Are you echoing? Are you hearing an echo?
No, I was just worried that you might get it because I'm not. It's coming out loud and not through my headphones for some reason.
We got this this great system here that cuts it all out.
Nice. Nice.
It is. So, we're just talking about that. Our actual topic for today is regrets, which is quite good now.
Yeah.
They're regretting that they asked me over with the bad news.
It rolls in.
But no, Dan, we're still talking about the new news. How's this going to affect you?
I don't really know yet because I've forgotten what level 3 was.
Well, we hoped we'd never have to think about it again.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much, but I think it's become, in my opinion, I think it's wrong. I think it's unfair. I think the people that are vaccinated, people that need to be protected are vaccinated. The people have suffered enough at the hands of the government's decision to lock down people by no choice of the people themselves. I don't want to go into it, but I'm fed up.
Yeah,
I'm angry. There's people, I slept out, as you know, to raise awareness for homeless people. This will increase the level of homeless people on the streets. The government are not helping those people. And I've honestly had it up to my neck with this stuff, and it's frustrating, heartbreaking. I'm one of the lucky ones. My business has suffered massively, but I still have a business. There's lots of people that don't have businesses. The people are struggling. The government are not helping us. I know that there's a protest coming up, which I will be broadcasting live on the YouTube channel once I know about it, outside the government offices, about what's happening with people are now going to be able to be evicted, families that can't pay rent. So I don't really want to go on about this. I'm actually quite angry about it at the moment. So possibly when I cool down, I might be able to discuss it in a more leveled approach, but at the moment I'm very...
Oh, level, what a word.
Or we come at it from a different angle and find out why is Tenerife going up when all the other islands are going down? What are we doing different? And who is being affected by it? Because it is a north-south divide.
But one of the other things I heard during the week is while a lot of the new infections are among younger people, the levels, in a way, they're the same in Gran Canaria, but we have a higher percentage of young people in Tenerife.
Okay, so like 10% of the young people are getting infected per day, but 10% of young people in Gran Canaria.
Means a lot more people here.
Okay, because we're a young dynamic island, and Tenerife is retirement heaven.
Well, the south is, but the north isn't.
No.
I mean, so there's more younger people in Tenerife, percentage-wise, population than there are in Gran Canaria.
Okay.
So if 15% of those infected are, say, under 25, that still means a lot more people in Tenerife are infected. Dan, I can absolutely understand the desperation in your voice. I mean, I think this could be the final straw for a lot of small businesses. They were preparing...
Can I throw a question?
Sure.
If the main reason why we were locked down was to protect the people who were vulnerable, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they vaccinated?
Yes.
Why are we locked down?
Well, I don't think it was to protect the vulnerable. Surely it was to protect the health service.
Also.
Yeah, but are they over? Are they like they were always? Well, I know in Ireland they were always overflowed, anyways.
Here, hospitalizations and deaths have not stopped. That's the problem. Deaths in Tenerife haven't stopped, you see.
Okay. I'm just asking the question. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like,
I understand the question completely, and I understand why you're asking it, and I don't have the full answer. What has worried me
is deaths out of COVID cases on the island, like percentage of people that actually die from COVID, like actual COVID, not from other things on the island. Is there actual statistics on that? Like, just asking, just out of interest.
I don't know. I mean, when they announce deaths every day, they what they are saying is people who have died because they were admitted to hospital from COVID.
Okay.
So, I mean, and it's still 1 or 2 or 3 a week. It's never been more than that because we're a fairly small population. But we haven't, so it hasn't gone down by 50, 60, 70 or 80% like it has in other countries.
Right.
I think that's the issue, I think.
I think what's happening as well is that when people are admitted with COVID and the breathing problems, then that exacerbates any pre-condition.
Or they've been admitted because they had a precondition.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's ducks and eggs, isn't it? Or chickens and eggs.
But the most people who are actually actively infected now are the 30 to 50-year-olds. So that is the bell curve is pretty good. And I think it's maybe because the old people have either recovered, been vaccinated, or are dead already.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, at the moment, we can vaccinate 30-year-olds now.
Yeah, it's from 30. Well, I rang the number today, and they were taking appointments for 40-year-olds on. But at least for the last 3 weeks, you could register for a vaccination if you were over 16.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But no, I read today actually that they were saying 30-year-olds can now call for an appointment.
Okay.
So
and they've opened a 24-hour vaccination site in La Laguna.
yeah.
It's called the Hamburguesa, so it's the basketball stadium is now open 24 hours, 7 days a week for vaccinations, and I think you can go without an appointment. So Tenerife really want to get this down again,
Yeah.
but this is going to be in place till the 7th of July.
And so, I mean, I've seen people walking around. I mean, I know the mask thing doesn't really make much sense, but what I'm saying is that the mentality is that we dropped our guard on Tenerife, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I think we felt like we were getting better. We felt it was going to be good, and I think we dropped our guard. And in the south, we've been pretty good, but in the north, there's still got the big families meeting up.
See, the number, I think Dan has a huge point here. The numbers never really fluctuated in terms of the south. Well, okay, maybe. I think the numbers of deaths didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and I look at the numbers from Adeje every day because it's on the website, and
Right.
it's halved.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
I mean, you and I talked about this, 6 weeks ago? It was it 105 or was it 106? We couldn't remember. It was down to 40 last week, and now
Right.
it's back up to 52, I think.
But also, I looked at that, and the way that they report it is the number of active cases. But if you look at over days, then they not only have the new infections, but they also have the recoveries.
Yeah.
And so the recoveries and the new infections are following each other. So you may have 2 extra active cases this week or
Yeah.
this day, but that doesn't mean there was only two people infected. There was 20 or 50 people infected, but 45 people
Yeah.
recovered.
Yeah.
So it's if you look at the daily figures now, we're still in the 80, 90 per day. You know, on the
Yeah.
island.
And do you know what worries me? I mean, again, I was just catching the tail end of the press conference, and I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think they were saying that the infection that's still the highest prevalence here is what was previously called the British variant. I think
Right.
it's now the Alpha one.
Yeah, yeah,
So that means we haven't dealt with Delta yet,
correct.
which is twice as infectious as what is known as
Or even more, yeah.
and that worries me.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, at the moment we are still allowing people on the island, right? The flights are not stopped. So even though we're at level 3,
yeah.
the entry requirements have not changed.
No, but I think the tourism industry, Dan, you'll know this more than any of us at the table. I think people felt more British tourists would start to arrive once the restrictions on them coming into Spain were lifted, and despite the fact that they were going to have to quarantine going home. But that hasn't happened. The numbers haven't materialised. Sure they haven't, Dan?
Well, I have noticed there's definitely more of an influx of tourism in the last while. Like my numbers have gone up in relation to sales. I've certainly seen an increase, like steadily ramping up. I'd say double the bookings than was last month or this month. The problem is what he's done, in my opinion, is he's going to destroy the confidence in foreign travel by increasing restrictions. My thing is this, simple. What is the death rate? How many people are being hospitalized? How overrun are the hospitals? And the reality is, what about the cause and effect? So if you lock down the place again, or you reduce it to level 3 or whatever you do, what's the damage done by doing that versus the damage done by continuing on as we are, vaccinating the people that need to be vaccinated? And my understanding is the vaccine is supposed to work on all variants. Or am I wrong? Or am I reading wrong? Or am I, I'm like, I try to stay out of anything normally in relation to this. But I'm at a point now where I'm like,
Because it's controversial. Yeah.
That some of it doesn't add up. And for me, it's easy when you're a politician and you're sitting in power and government and you're getting your nice wage every month, and you're getting you're getting your salary and you'll get your retirement at the end of it, to say, right, let's put a restriction on the whole, when the implications are massive to people like me and small businesses that are already on their knees already and struggling to keep alive. And I've seen the level of homelessness increase. I've talked to the charities here, and they're at breaking point, and they feel the same. And there's no help from the government. Whatever they say, they come out and they make speeches about they're going to really help the people. I don't see the help. I see more people struggling day in, day out, and that for me, it's just heartbreaking to see. And I'm feeling drained about it. I'm tired of it. I felt like there was light at the end of the tunnel, and now they go back to level 3. And, you know,
I don't think they
don't
felt they
understand.
had a choice, Dan. I really don't think
No.
they know. I don't think there's a plan B. I think that's the issue. That they only know how to react to rising infection figures by closing down again. They don't know what else to do. You know,
Okay, so
maybe. I mean, that's just my
Plan-
personal opinion.
Plan B to keep the damage, like you said, Daniel, keep the damage down is in playing your own role in keeping the damage down.
But that hasn't happened, you see. I mean, that's...
No, I mean individually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking about like the topic regrets.
Sure.
I mean, if we look at regrets, it's some kind of emotion that comes hand in hand with choice. And in 5 years, maybe from now, we will be saying, "Oh, what choices have I made in putting my valuable energy and my frustration into something like this?" I'm not saying like that. It will have an effect on businesses, on people's lives. It touched us all. And it affects us all, but we can keep the damage a little bit more at bay if we focus more on that. And that because in a few years in time we might regret that we put that energy of ours into such, I'm not saying stupid things. I'm not saying stupid because that would be quite judgmental. But we probably will say, "Oh, I could have made a better choice in."
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think 90% of us are sort of saying, I mean, I know me. I'm pretty judgmental on this, and I say, if you stop hugging, kissing, sit on your hands and wash your face, you're not going to get infected.
Yeah.
That's probably not true. I mean, I think the people who are getting infected are not doing stupid things. I think they get infected because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They're indoors, first of all, and I think that seems to be a huge, because from what I gather, it's not hugging, not kissing, not shaking hands if you are indoors. I think
So if you're meeting inside a house with a lot of
you
people,
shouldn't be close to anybody for more than 15 minutes maximum.
okay.
You know, and that rule still seems to
And
to
but if you're in your
pertain.
I mean, we're in a bubble with Christina. We're in a bubble with you guys.
We're on the balcony.
Yeah, and we're on the balcony. That's true.
I mean, that's a huge
Fresh
difference,
air.
Tim.
So once you've been okay. So what I'm trying to say is, I mean, Rick's just said now that he's got a sold out show with Shelley at the weekend that's cancelled now.
Oh.
So therefore,
Yeah.
exactly. So therefore, they are being penalised,
Yeah.
even though they've probably
Done everything.
done everything they possibly could.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And the thing is, if you haven't done everything you possibly can, but you're not infected, you say, well, you know, what was the problem? You know, okay, I didn't wear my mask. I was in a car with somebody I didn't know. I was in a house with people for more than half an hour, and I'm not sick. So where are these people, and how do we differentiate? You know.
Well, then you see, what do we start doing? Do we start closing off borough by borough?
The thing is, everybody, we shouldn't have the government tell us what to do. We should know what to do.
Exactly.
Right? And so if we're adults and we're like you and me, and we say we don't hug and kiss, we don't go close to somebody, and we don't, you know, we don't put ourselves in a risky situation, right? Then that is the first thing you have to do for yourself, right? And if that doesn't happen, then the government has to step in, and the only thing they can do is do what a committee decides. So it's always going to be a compromise, you know. It's always going to be a compromise. And
Can I say something?
yeah, of course, Dan.
I'm sorry for, and I'm sorry if I'm the one that's arguing.
You can actually
the other
disagree.
direction. You know what I mean? So I and please don't get me wrong. It's just, and I want to say, like, put it this way. Look, I understood the lockdown. I understand the restrictions. I understand why the government do it, because sometimes you have to do things because the people won't do it themselves. But the simple fact that lies in front of me is, what we were told at the start was that we were locking down to protect the infections and slow down the infection rate based on people being hospitalized. Now, I have a simple question. Are the hospitals that overrun, and is there a lot of people dying from the virus at the moment, and who's vaccinated? And if people are vaccinated, my understanding is, I'm just going to ask the question: the people that are vaccinated, are they not protected from all variants?
They have a very high protection rate if they've received both vaccinations. I mean, in my case, no, because I've only had one.
I get my second one on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay,
But there are people dying still.
Okay.
I mean, 3 this week, I think.
What percentage of infections have died, and what percentage of and look, don't get me wrong, any death shouldn't happen. You know, I'm not trying to be flippant about death at all. I'm just interested to know the percentages, because obviously
all the
dying
information.
from many things, you know.
Okay, I don't have it at my fingertips, but if you have any Spanish at all, if you go onto the Gobierno de Canarias Sanidad page, there is a button which will bring you up percentages, rates per island, rates per borough. It'll give you deaths versus recoveries versus people who are in hospital versus people who have been released from hospital. So all of that information is available online.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to ask is if, and maybe the government will regret the decisions that they're making at the moment, because very simply, it's very easy for me, you, all you guys. I don't know your current situations. I know my current situation. Mm-hmm. When I walk inside, I open my fridge, it lights up, there's food in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very easy for me to make. You know, it's a little bit easier for me at this moment in time to take the hit of level 3.
Yeah.
But when people's businesses are being destroyed and people are actually being made homeless, and the fact that there's no protection from the government, yes, we've got a health issue. Don't make it an economic issue as well. And that's what it's becoming now. It's becoming very much so an economic issue for people who have less than the people in power. And it's time to, if I was in government, it'd be time to stand up and say, right, okay, we're going to level 3, but now this is what we offer for people who are suffering here on the island at the moment at the hands of our decisions. That's just my opinion.
I mean,
I'll probably be a bit controversial, so anyone in the
Dan,
I'm sorry if I'm controversial.
I think, I mean, I remember saying this months ago, and then I'll pass over the microphone. I'm waiting for any government in the world to actually say, do you know, we're completely screwed by what's going on. We don't know what to do. We're trying to find out what to do. We're listening to the experts, but we don't know any more than you do because none of us are doctors. So we're doing our best. If a government said that to me, I would say, okay, well, let's see what we can do together. But I'm agreeing with you in a way. I think governments, not just the Spanish government, British, Irish, German, Swedish. I know people go on about Sweden. The Prime Minister just lost a vote of confidence there. Australian. None of them have actually held up their hands to say, we're really terrified because every time we make a decision, it seems to be the wrong decision. So bear with us. We're trying to get it right. And I would love a government to actually say that. And to actually admit they have regrets.
And I'm not a big fan of Theresa May, by the way, as a politician, but she made a very interesting speech in Parliament there last week. I don't know if you've seen it, where she talked about that COVID's here. I don't know if we can say it here. Can we say it? Oh, we can, because you do the reports. But COVID's here to stay.
Yeah. And
we've got to stop restricting the people and just people
live with
getting vaccinated and live with it, because the reality, I don't know, I'm not saying it's the answer. I'd hate to be in power and have to make decisions, but I know one thing for sure: if I was in power, I wouldn't let the stuff that I see what's happening day to day here on the island happen. But I'd make sure that we be helping the people that are struggling, and it's for me, it's not acceptable anymore. Anyways, I don't want to railroad this discussion.
No, I'm not a fan of governments. I'm not a fan of politicians, right? I think politicians, anybody who wants to be a politician should be banned from being one. And, it should be like your president next week. Oh, no, crap. And but the thing I think is that the politicians are on a hiding to nothing. Because if they don't do anything, they don't get re-elected because they were useless. If they do something and it was right, they'll get re-elected. If they do something and it was wrong, they won't get re-elected. So when a politician's making a decision in a group of other politicians, first of all, it's a compromise. it's a solution designed by a committee, which is never the best solution, right? And the third thing is that they have to make a decision, whether good or bad, because indecision is seen as weakness. And so if they've got a table to say if the figures go over 90 per 100,000, we're in level 3, then all they've done is gone to their risk analysis spreadsheet, they've gone to their contingency plan, and they've gone level 3. I don't think they've said, let's screw the public. I think they've just gone to their contingency plan, which has been written down. But as Cleo was saying, this contingency plan is probably not the ideal one at the moment. No. I mean, if one politician would come out and say, you know what, do what you like, the people who are going to die are going to die, the people who are going to get affected are going to get infected, and, you know, look after yourselves, we're out. Then what would happen with the economy then, you know? It would boom.
Belly up. No, it wouldn't.
You don't think so?
Because who would pay for education? Who'd pay for roads? Who would pay for
the
hospitals?
I don't mean the government.
But everything. This is what politics is really about. Mm-hmm. Everything that a politician says or does or doesn't do has repercussions, unfortunately. I mean, like I'm thinking about back before Christmas, Dan, if you were keeping an eye on what was happening in Ireland, it would be an area I know. The Irish government decided not to go with the medical advice, which was saying close the country. And they said, no, the economy needs us to stay open, and they stayed open. And 3 weeks later, there was a huge another wave of infections. Mm-hmm. And they were closed for months. So sometimes it's a really unpopular decision to have to take, but there are huge repercussions. They know that. Now, I'm not saying that they've made the right decision. I just don't know if they know what else to do.
That's true.
You know, I think that, and this is a completely unprecedented situation in over 100 years. What, the Spanish flu was 1918?
Yeah.
So it is over 100 years. And I think they're all floundering.
Yeah.
You know, the vaccination program is going really well now. And hopefully this will only be until July the 7th. And hopefully less people than might go to the wall will go to the wall, Dan. But if infections are on the rise, I mean, they're looking over a 14-day period, and the pattern is not good at the moment. I don't have the figures about how many people are dying. I don't have the figures about what level of infections are currently in hospitals and whether they're keeping ICU beds closed off for other patients. So I can't answer those questions.
Okay.
I think that maybe, I mean, God, if I was a politician right now, I'd be panicking. Because no matter what they're doing, it doesn't seem to be working in Tenerife. What are they supposed to do?
I tend to do, like, my belief in the politicians, I'm on the same page as Tim. I'm not a big, so if there's any politicians watching, I do apologise. But my personal opinion generally on politicians is that exactly what Tim says. If they make a decision, is it going to affect? Are they going to be re-elected? Will they regret the decision? And it should never be. If you want to be a leader, and if you want to lead your country, if you want to be part of change within your country, it should never be. It's because I want to stay in term for another 4 years. It's because of how can I bring forward my country to the better of the people of the country, the people that voted me in. How can I better the current situation of that country by making the right decisions for the people, not based on whether I'm going to get re-elected, but based on how I can look after the people better. So, very simple. This is a health issue. 100% make it a health issue. Do the things that need to be done based on the facts that you have in front of them. But don't make it an economic issue. Look after your people. Look after them properly. Put the right protections for people that can't afford to pay the rent. Put the right protection for people that can't afford to put food in their fridge. Like, it's okay when you've got money behind you and you can sit back and say, okay, lockdown's all right. And I've suffered at the hands of this, but not compared to other people. So look at the people that are suffering and say, okay, so we're making this decision, but let's go on the ground and look at the people that are struggling. I mean, perfect examples of governments leading by example and doing the right things was when the Portuguese implemented a change in their government over 10 years ago in relation to drugs and the way they treated addicts. And they did it not based on whether they're going to get re-elected or not. They did it based on they wanted to do the best for their people. So for me personally, yes, it's a health issue, but don't make an economic issue as well. And I'm not saying that don't lock down the country, but if you're going to lock down the Canary Islands and help the businesses out, stop the rents on the buildings. They haven't done that. They've said they've left it in the hands of the people between them whether or not the landlords decide to charge them rent or not. And make it very, very clear. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry for the rant. It's been in my head for a long time, wrecking my head. So I'm sorry if I go on a bit, but this is just my belief. I think if you're going to be a politician, then do it for the right reasons, not whether or not you're going to get re-elected next year. Do it for the fact that you're trying to do the best for your people, from the people that are, at the lower level in the economy to the higher level. You should value every person in this country. So that's my rant over.
I've got to give a shout out to Andrew Horseman here. He's given £40, and he said, "Hi Tim, Christina, Giuliani, Daniel, and Cleo. Tim, can you tell things are not good with businesses? Can you give half to Daniel's business?" You get the whole thing, my friend.
I don't. Do you know what? Give it to someone.
Give it to Noah's Ark.
Then we'll give it to
Noah's Ark. I have to help, please.
Andrew Horseman, thank you so much for the
Andrew.
donation.
That's
there.
amazing.
And we will be giving it to the people who need it. And if Dan ever needs anything in the future, then he knows where to come.
Absolutely. I mean, Dan, I rarely praise the American political system, but the fact, for instance, that there is a limited amount of terms a president can actually serve maybe has some merit, because even though they don't actually they call the second term of a president his lame duck presidency, and it's always been a him so far. I see what you're saying. I mean, if a politician was only ever going to serve a single term, and therefore they couldn't even waste time thinking about whether they're going to get re-elected or not because they weren't going to get re-elected, maybe things would be different.
Okay. As much as I'd love to carry on this conversation, I think we need to come we need to come full circle. No. See, it wasn't you. I mean, it's the situation, and we've got to react to it, especially on Balcony Banter. What I want to do now is to just take a breath. I want to say things have happened. What has actually happened? They have knee-jerked and put us in level 3. That affects certain people in certain ways. The dramatic effect is that Rick and Shelley's sold-out show on Saturday is totally cancelled. That is a dramatic effect. Right?
All-day yoga event in Playa Paris has just been cancelled.
And the yoga events for for free, International Yoga Day in Playa Paris has just been cancelled as well, which is free. For me personally, and for Christina, because we don't go out, we don't take part in society that much. For me, it means I can't sit on a table in a bar, right, with more than 4 people. So I am theoretically totally unaffected by this.
As am I.
And my heart goes out to the people it affects. And what can we do? We
can ask. I think we go back to what Juliana said at the very beginning. We can ask those people who let their guard down to please put it back up again. Because the only way that we're going back to level 2 or even to level 1, as some islands are in, is by not spreading this virus. It mightn't be as dangerous as it was. Maybe people are vaccinated, but they can still test positive. Don't forget that if you are vaccinated, Dan, it means you're not going to get sick.
Right.
But I think you can still actually carry it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if nobody's getting sick and less people are dying, which I assume is going to be the effect of the vaccination, right? One hopes. Then obviously we can say, okay, then it becomes the flu. It becomes like the flu, where people died of the flu anyway, but we didn't close the country down, right?
Yeah.
So there must be a point where they sort of say, we're going to treat COVID like the flu.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to get the super flu COVID, then don't do this, and this.
Or you get the flu jab, like I would do every year. Yeah.
Right, or you get the flu jab. Or if you do get sick, wash your hands, don't touch your mouth, do all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Jan. Go ahead.
Just one last thing. I think it would be nice for the governments to give the people the decision, like as in the whole population. Put it to vote. Put it to vote.
They can't. They can't do that. I mean,
what would they be voting on?
No.
Voting on whether or not, setting the level of restrictions they can give their people.
Then in a month's time, there's 400 people dying. Do they vote again?
No, I've got to stop this conversation. I've got to stop this conversation. Sorry.
Sorry, Tim.
No. It's your sentiment is very, very well accepted.
A palpable anger as well,
It
and
is.
I think
It's
it's very,
very well
justified.
accepted. It's a. Okay, I don't want to say knee-jerk reaction, but it is a reaction that has a lot of consequences.
Very human reaction.
It
Dan.
is a human reaction. There is actually a stage play called Starlings about this, about somebody who gave everybody the vote on everything, and it meant that you were woke up at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, he gave everybody a colour TV with a blue light on it, and you had to vote on everything that the government did. And eventually they said, you know what, I don't want to vote anymore, and he became a dictator. So I know that's a
No, but I know it. And
yeah.
sounds,
And the thing is, you have already done that by voting for the existing government. Yeah. So you've already given the government your go ahead.
Yeah.
So they are doing what they are doing in your name.
yeah.
And I know you can say I didn't vote for him, or I've never voted in my life, or whatever.
Well, maybe
answer
you
would
should.
be. No, but you can say
That's
that. Right?
another whole.
But don't forget is giving giving the people the say is a lot more complicated than you think, and I think the way we do it at the moment is good. Again, we're 40 minutes in and we just haven't talked about. I think it's a special
Don't
balcony
worry.
banter today.
It's a news alert balcony
Yeah.
banter.
It's a news alert balcony banter. If Rick's still on, if you want to come in and say hello, and
Dan's rant.
Dan, stop
No.
apologizing, because I think you are voicing what hundreds and thousands of people are thinking. And I think your concerns are so legitimate, and it's really good that you're here to air them.
Professor Wood is saying, how do I donate? I'm new to Tubes. If you're on a phone, turn it sideways, and where you're typing in your comment, there should be a little $sign, and you can do there, and Google will pass that on to us. And if you can't do that, go to timothydowd.com, and that's Julianne in Endel, but you can go there as well. Go to timothydowd.com, and there's a button there that you can donate through PayPal. And if you want to say where you want the money to go to, then let me know, and I will send that money to wherever you want it to go to. So either Dan's business, which I will fully support, or one of the charities on the island, or if you just want to support the channel, that's fine by me. Okay, so Dan, is Rick coming in? I don't know. Rick, are you still there? Do you want to come in? Okay, I do apologise to all the people who are commenting, and they're really doing a great thing. I've been normally out with friends tonight, says Christine Willoughby, to celebrate my birthday. Christine's Willoughby's birthday today. We're gonna sing happy birthday to Christine Willoughby, if that's okay. Are you ready, guys? Yep. Let me just get a bit of reverb on this. There we go. There we go. Reverb, and we're going to give Cleo some reverb as well.
No, Dan can have the reverb, and I'll have.
Can I?
Oh, well.
I can actually give you. Say something, Dan.
Yo.
Yeah. Hey, you've got reverb as well.
Man.
Whoa, yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christine Willoughby.
Willoughby.
Happy birthday to you. Even with the delay there, we got it done. We got it done. Cool dudes.
Sweet.
Okay, so I do actually apologise for not coming to all your fantastic comments there. I will spend the time afterwards tonight to go through it, and if anybody's come up with some sort of poignant phrase or a question that needs to be answered, I'll screenshot it and I'll address it on Freaky Friday. So there'll be a whole segment of the reactions to your comments on Freaky Friday. I want to just update you on my back pain. Thank you very, very much for everybody who's contacted me, and I didn't realise there was that many people in the world that worried about me. My back went out on Saturday. I had a real problem with it. I struggled till Tuesday morning and eventually got to see a doctor. She put this was a guy actually, the nurse. He gave me a tramadol cocktail and a corticoid for the inflammation. That helped, and I had some tramadol paracetamol tablets left over from a shoulder injury that I had 3 months ago. and only took half the tablets because it was a course of 10, but they gave me 20 tablets, so I've got those as well. And Dan, close your eyes. And I'm using other methods as well to dampen the pain, which I know I shouldn't, but there you go.
Working?
Yeah. And so thank you very much for everybody. The bathroom is going ahead next week, Monday, so we're going to a hotel Monday night. So I'm going to see if I can walk on Tuesday. So my morning walks will restart on next Tuesday morning from La Caleta, from the Sheraton Spa La Caleta.
Nice.
I know that I shouldn't really be talking about that when there's homeless people and people who don't eat, but I've got to keep the people who work at the hotel in a job.
Yeah.
So I look at it that way.
Yeah.
So Rick's come in, I think. So I'm going to see if I can get Rick on. Can we go 5 up here? Hang on. Where's the 5 thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. I'm going to put you front and center, Rick.
Rick.
Let me just unmute you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear?
Come
I can
in,
hear you.
Rick.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
I
can.
can hear
Yeah,
Rick.
we can hear you all now. Okay, cool, dude.
On a brighter note, Spain's 5-0 up.
Oh, it's 5-0. We keep hearing cheers from below. It's about bloody time they showed their metal, isn't it?
5-0. That's what they are.
Who are they
How are
playing?
you doing, guys?
They're playing
Hi,
Slovakia,
Rick.
I think, is it?
Oh, wow.
That's right, Cleo. Slovakia. Exactly. Playing Slovakia. How are you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, Rick.
So let me know. I mean, did you have to cancel, or did the venue cancel? What happened there?
We knew straight away. The moment they said it was going to go to level 3, we just knew straight away it was cancelled. One of the things that we do is when we sell these places out, we used to get the money beforehand, but we've decided we always stop now. So look, we're not going to take the money until the night, because we knew that it's just such a volatile situation. And it was just, we heard it about an hour ago. We were in our local complex bar, and it was a question of like, yeah, that's it, it's done. All the phones keep coming in now saying, so what's happening? We know from up to now it's happening as of tomorrow when the bot gets printed, or Friday, and it's going to carry on at least till the 7th of July. That's what we know. So it's just cancelled straight through for ourselves. There's nothing you can do. You just got to roll with it. It's happened to us 3 times before, and you've just got to roll with it now. So it's the little man can't shout. The little man can't speak up and shout because it's not. The voice isn't going to be heard. So you just have to roll with it and just take it on the chin. As horrible as it sounds.
So our topic of today is regrets.
Or maybe we can do it next week
Yeah, we're gonna roll over the topic next
and
week.
see what we regret from this week.
Yeah. So I think what's important here is that we can't do the blame game. So we can't do the blame game. I think that it was a standard contingency plan that was always on the cards. If a certain level wasn't held, we go to this level. And but we are talking, say, that the contingency plan might have been put in place before the vaccinations and everything. Yeah. So maybe the contingency plan needs to be changed.
What amazes me, Tim, is we had a conversation earlier on this afternoon. And what amazes me is that 2 days ago...
I don't talk to you outside of these.
None of this is planned. We haven't practiced.
President Sanchez was coming up with the idea of getting rid of all the masks. And it was all looking like sunshine, lollipops, rainbows and pretty things. And then the next thing you know, we just get a hoof in the stops that we're going to go back to level 3. And it's just like, well, it doesn't. The messages are just not clear at all. It's like, what direction is it? They obviously know the trends. They obviously know that the direction it's going to go. But why would you throw that in?
See, I think the mask lifting still goes ahead, though, as far as I'm aware. It's got nothing to do with regional government decision, Rick. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding.
There is a possibility that the regional government can negate the law, because they did negate the law the other way round when the mask came
but they will have to publicly do that. They will have to bring in an extra restriction. That means that even though in the rest of Spain you don't have to wear a mask, in the Canary Islands you will. I mean, I know the mayor of Santa Cruz yesterday was saying we will be asking people to continue to be cautious, even though the mask restriction is being removed from outdoors. My worry is that people will think, well, the mask restriction is gone, sure, it's gone for everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest problem.
We've got,
Go ahead, Rick.
This Friday, we've got Shelley's son and his fiance are coming over on Friday. They're actually coming for a week's holiday. Shelley's son, he lived here until the age of 11, so he's fluent in Spanish. He was the one who actually sent us the message straight away, saying, because he was watching it live, and he's the one who gave the full clarification of it all. And it's like, Siam Park has opened up, Laura Park has opened up. And surely that must cost an absolute fortune to open up for then something like this to happen.
Do they have to shut down?
No, they're outdoors. I don't think so. They're outdoors.
I think what it is that the tourist industry has worked very, very hard to guarantee a safe place for tourists. So they have contingency plans and methods in place to keep the tourists safe. The Loro Park, they got one-way systems. They're 99% outdoors. And I
don't think any of their indoor dining places are open.
Right, and you can't go into the aquarium or anything like that. So I think that they're okay. And of course, the same with Siam Park. They're restricted on the amount of thing, and it's a very outdoor.
And they have limited capacity. You have to, even if you're a card holder, you are advised to book before you go because they're keeping the numbers down. I mean, the kids, my daughter's loving it because she doesn't have to queue for anything.
Right.
But it was a thing for me. It was like we met a couple of tourists yesterday for the first time. They've come over and they were the supporters of our channel, and they've met them. They're on holiday now, and now their rules change as of tomorrow. It's just, I understand it. I just think it's an absolute negative impact. What Dan was saying before, it's such a negative impact. For the
but we knew it was coming, Rick. But we knew
last week.
You know, and not only that, but we knew last week when Sanchez came with his sunshine and flowers that we said the figures in Tenerife are going up. I don't think that we're going to be able to do the mass thing. That's why I didn't go with the breaking news, because I knew that well, I didn't know we were going to go level 3, but it was the danger was on
really,
the cards.
For the last 5, I mean, I was surprised and hopeful when it didn't happen last week, but when the numbers didn't start to stabilise by Monday, you're thinking, well, I mean, because the figures that are published are usually about 3 days old.
Exactly. It was 55.
Did you expect this, Cleo? Did you expect this?
Yeah, I did.
We were talking about it. We were talking about it a few days ago, weren't we? In fact, when Sanchez said, I messaged Cleo and says, "Do you think this is gonna be, doing?" And Cleo says, "If we go up to level 3, I don't know." But I don't know what's going to happen. On Saturday, Spain is going to say you don't need to wear a mask outdoors. Now, don't forget, when you don't... It came in that you had to wear a mask as soon as you left your house, right?
Yeah.
And now you don't have to... Or on Saturday, you won't have to do that. And you won't have to do it walking down the street. But don't forget, as soon as you enter a terrace of a bar... You have to put your mask on because you cannot guarantee 1.50 meter distancing.
You see, I think we're back to what the lads have said as well about blurred lines. I mean, when I talk to my family back home in Dublin, for the last year, they're still astonished that people wear masks going out for a walk on their own, because that's never been the case back in Ireland. I don't know, not sure about the UK. And yet their infection rates are going down because people have worn them indoors and they have been restricted. So who knows, maybe the whole issue of wearing masks outdoors was a step that we didn't need to have taken in the first place. But because we did take it, because people have worn masks outdoors, now they're going to think, I don't need my mask at all. And it's the at all that worries me, because they won't bring it with them and they won't put it on going into a shop, and they won't put it on if they're just going to buy, a loaf of bread. Because it was either all or nothing here.
Right.
Whereas elsewhere, people have got used to bringing the mask with them and putting it on the minute they go indoors. I mean, I go to work every day, but we all wear masks at work, except when I have my own little office, and when I'm in there, I can take it off. But if I get up to go to the loo or go to the photocopier, the mask goes on.
Lena, can I just say something? Like, we start, like, on the mask thing, we started with just indoors. So... And people, what I witnessed were people doing it. We were doing it. I was wearing a mask indoors. I had no problems wearing a mask indoors. I personally don't see the logic of wearing a mask, walking along the street when there's no one around me. Like, who can I infect?
See, I agree with you, Dan. I'm with you there,
And I understand the other logic of it, because at the end of the day, some people don't have the respect for other people and they don't put the mask up when they come near. But, like... I might get arrested for what I say here because I'm breaking the law.
I will be round in a minute.
Oh, good man, fair play. But,
Tim O'Dowd coming up the driveway.
No.
Is that a mask you have in your hand, lad?
But like, it's simple as this. I will keep the mask down when there's no one around, and when
Yeah.
someone comes near me, I'll put the mask up. Out of that very reason that logically makes sense. But walking on my own with no one around, and I've seen cases where I was driving behind a police car, and I seen a guy standing on his own, no one around, talking on the phone with the mask down here so he could talk properly. There was no one around, and they went up and started hassling him about the mask. What was the purpose of that?
Well, they're following the law. You could say that they were following the law.
Yeah,
but
fair
Dan,
enough.
I agree with you. And I think I personally
enough.
would go along with what you're saying. But I think the problem is now that the blurred lines will come back into play because people won't accept that if they don't have to wear a mask outside, well, then they don't have to wear it on the terrace of a bar, or they don't have to wear it going into the loo in the bar where they're having a pint. And that's where the infections are going to start maybe again.
For me, what is an interesting correlation is that there's been a rise in infections. As I sit at the end of the runway of Tenerife South, and the last 3 weeks has been a rise in aircraft coming in here, and all of a sudden now there seems to be a rise in infection. That's quite an interesting correlation. I wonder how that one's been looked at.
But aren't they numerically in the north? I don't know, Rick.
Yeah, that's what
I've looked at the figures and clicked them down. I thought they were numerically in the north. I've actually posted it earlier on. I'll just pull it up again because I've got it in front of me. There's 1,723 cases with 1,000 in Santa Cruz, 411 in La Laguna. So 1,400 of those cases are actually in the north. The next one, funnily enough, is Granadilla de Arbona, 67. That's third, followed by Adeje, which is 62, followed by Arona, which is 46. So actually, the number 3, 4, and 5 is actually in the south.
Yeah.
It's always going to be 3, 4, and 5, whether it's
Most
62,
population.
42, or 22. You know, I think what you got to say is the percentage down from the 1,000 and the 500 is
absolutely.
You know, it is a factor. It is a factor lower. But as I was saying before, it's not just 60 people. It's 60 active cases. Don't forget, tomorrow there'll be another 15 cases new in Adeje, but there'll be another 14 recovered. So that'll only be a delta of 1. So you've got to go to. In fact, if you're on the graph kind of counts, right? If you get down to the bottom and where it's got the averages there, click on Diario.
Tim, I'm on the page ahead. I just jumped straight into Tenerife. Give me 2 seconds. Let me look.
It's on Tenerife, but it's if you look down at the bottom, it's split up, right? Mm-hmm. And if the bottom one is like the average, and if you click on Diario there,
it's just reloading up itself because I screenshotted it. So
okay.
Crack on talking. I'll find it.
I will. Yeah. So basically, if you look at the Diario, it says that the accumulado is another one as well, where it says the number of infections are going up and the number of recoveries are going up. So the active are only the ones in the middle. So there's actually 80 to 140 people being infected every day in Tenerife.
Yeah.
Every day. And where are they getting infected? Where are they getting this from? Yeah. What are they doing that I'm not doing?
Why are they having more fun than you? This is what you're actually saying.
No, I don't think they're having fun. I don't think they're having fun. I think they're just putting themselves into a situation that.
But again, I think from what I read, and again, I'm reading newspapers like everyone is, and I don't know any of these experts directly. But my understanding was that a large percentage of the infections are from indoor gatherings, and I think that is so relevant.
Explain what an indoor gathering is.
In a family house.
Like what we're doing now, but inside.
Yeah. So, come round for dinner, bring Uncle Joe. My neighbour's popping in from next door. She's just going to have a glass of wine. So you'll have 10 or 12 people in a house. And they're sitting there for more than 15 minutes in a small living room without masks, chatting away. One person's infected. There's 8 infected the next day.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And it's not the kids. I know everyone. Yeah. And it's not the kids. I mean, the kids are on the street doing they're probably having their botellones, which for people who don't know is when they bring out the big bottles of Coke with rum in them and they sit around the squares and they have drinks, and it's illegal anyway.
What's that called in Spanish?
A botellone.
A botellone.
We
Which
have a different name in Ireland.
Yeah. And it's just called the crack, man.
No, there's something else, but I can't say it on.
All right. But, they've always been illegal.
It's my channel, say what you like.
They've always been illegal here, but a lot of people are saying, it's the young people, it's them, they're going out drinking, they're causing the spread of infections. Actually, it's not. what they're doing has always been illegal. It's never been illegal to sit around in a park, especially if you're my daughter, drinking out of a bottle of Coke. No, she doesn't do that.
So
Of course
so
she
here's the
doesn't.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
And I hope I haven't lost. Probably got to get off this and all my subs have gone from all the stuff I've been giving out about. But I'm going to be honest, be myself. Here's a question for you. When does this end? Does this end when we have 70% here vaccinated, like the UK? Because it hasn't ended there. I'm just interested to know, because obviously, Cleona, you have more kind of connections within the government and
Only
you're
locally.
more-
Only locally.
well, that's enough to kind of get an idea what's kind of happening on the islands. My question is, like, do they have a target, like when we get to 70% vaccination, are we now going to be allowed go back to some level of normality where masks are no longer needed because 70% of people are vaccinated? Or is it going to be the next strain and we have to go through all this again? Because I'm just interested to know, that's all.
Rick, I'm going to, since you've asked me, I'm going to sound, sorry,
was
Dan.
Daniel.
Dan, like a politician.
She can't see, actually.
And say,
that's all right.
again, I don't think they know, you see. I mean, they could
Okay.
say, like, if you look at what's happened in the UK when they had their opening update was the 21st of June, and then they had to change their minds because they are not in control of the virus or the variants. But I think the end game has to be exactly what you said a few minutes ago. And what Tim has been saying is that we need to learn to live with this. And that has to be the end game. Because, and I don't think any government anymore is talking about zero COVID, because that's pie in the sky. That's never going to happen. So adaptation and living with it. No, is that what you're saying, Rick?
I was about 4 weeks ago. I had to I took a client on Santa Cruz to sort obviously the registration stuff out, and this gentleman was a retired virologist, and I'm a master of picking up fractions piece of information and being a master of none of it, by the way, but I looked at a lot of it. And one of the interesting things was he said to me, the most interesting fact about this is that this is a virus, and this virus will mutate and it will change. He said, so the fact is, he thinks we're going to be with it for a lot longer than what people think that anyway. But what he did say was, he said, what was interesting was the statistics were people who died with death with COVID, not death from COVID. He says, and they were actually therefore
very distinction. Yeah.
But there were false stats that people were doing, and sorry Tim to mention that word because we shouldn't really mention that on YouTube.
No, my channel you can mention anything you like.
Thank you very much. But it was one of those ones. It was obviously from here to Santa Cruz is 40 minutes. It was the most interesting 40 minutes I've had in the conversation with somebody who actually knew about what he was talking about. And it was like he thinks generally just like the influenza, it will mutate, and therefore we could be getting jobs for the next few years to come. Yeah, and it's just like what Dan says. When will it end? When will it end? And I don't.
Well, I'm just glad, Rick, that we have now more football trainers on Facebook than we have virologists.
What's the final score? 6-0.
Was it 5 or 6? I
don't know.
And I had a heart attack as well. Let me just get this. Get this. When it comes up on my system that somebody's given a donation, it gives the amount first and then the message, right? And I got this message. Can you all see that?
Wow, I can't see anything.
No, we can't see it.
I can.
What does it say?
It says £5,000 for a cottage in Bournemouth. Obscene. So Denise was actually complaining that it's £5,000 to rent a cottage in Bournemouth and stay, because they were talking about staycations in the things. But when it came up with £5,000, and I was just about to say, Denise, thank you so much for the
Thank you so much for the cottage in Bournemouth.
Thank you so much for the cottage in Bournemouth. Yeah. Denise, don't worry.
5-0, by the way. It was 5-0.
5-0. Okay, that'll do. That'll do.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a breather. I'm going to do a very, very quick thing here, and we're just going to take a breather. We're back in 2 seconds. That's it. Okay, we're back. I just wanted to put a stamp on that one. Everybody's going to come back in. I'm going to be big screen, so there you go, because it's my show. We're going to close it down now. We're going to say thank you so much for all our guests. We're going to say thank you to Cleo for bringing the news and for being so. No news. You.
Defending. I felt sorry
No.
if am I the government defender now?
No,
Dan?
you're not. You're not defending anything. You're doing exactly what you should do, and I think it was good that we did it. I'd like to thank Dan for his views and also the way he's been affected. Rick and Shelley, we do apologize. In
heartbreak.
fact, what I'm going to do is the £40 we got from Andrew Horseman, I'm going to give to Rick and Shelley for their cancelled. That's what I'll do. So you're going to get that guy. Yeah, no, you're going to get it. So, and I'd like
Don't
to
argue
thank
with him.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly, Dan.
And I want to thank Christina and Giuliani for being so patient, for waiting for the thing, you know, that we were supposed to do. We're going to postpone it till next week.
Oh.
It never came. We did have another one for next week that was suggested by somebody called Childhood Memories.
Okay.
So maybe we can actually think about doing the Childhood Memories another week. Or if we can bring
I
it.
think this topic will be very good to be discussed next week.
The regret.
To see what we are going to regret about this conversation today.
Okay, we'll see.
Or if there are regrets at all.
And I'd like to thank everybody who was active in the comments down the bottom. I do apologise that I didn't get to you all. And Denise Pearson says she's going to give me the 5,000. There you go.
Oh, Denise.
Oh, happy days.
Denise from Donny.
Oh no, it says if I had the 5,000, I give it to Daniel
But
for
we
his
can all
charity.
come.
There you go.
Could we go and do a balcony banter in Bournemouth instead? Or
Well, actually, next week's balcony banter, I'm not sure we can't do it.
I'll be in La Gomera.
You'll be in La Gomera next week.
I'll be on my way back from La
She's
Gomera
going to
by
be
Wednesday.
whistling.
Okay, but I don't know. I mean, how is it going to affect me in the hotel next week?
I won't
Level
be there.
3.
Level 3, I'd say as long as you have 4, you should be okay.
So maybe you
Is
can
this
come
an
to the
activity? Is this an
To the-
activity
to
or a
the-
broadcast?
To the balcony in the Sheraton.
balcony in the Sheraton.
Or you could set it up outdoors,
they
perhaps.
let-
Yeah, we do that outdoor. Yeah.
Hope you can deceive you.
If they let them in.
Well, yeah.
No, I'll do a guess.
Just
Anyway,
a doctor.
so what we're going to do is we're going to close this down now. And everybody who commented, I will go through the comments today and tomorrow. I can't watch it all tonight; it's too much. So I'll go today and tomorrow. If anybody said anything or asked anything that is pertinent that needs to be addressed, I should do it on Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday, we're not going out. I don't think we'll do it from the balcony. I think I don't fancy nipping it going out on Friday to tapas or anything. You don't mind, do you?
Don't mind it.
So I'm going to make tapas here, and I might even take you on the journey of doing it if my kitchen's clean. We've got our helper comes on Friday.
Oh, there
we
you go.
There we go.
Definitely clean.
And okay, so thank you very, very much. Thank you all, you guys.
You're welcome.
Tim, can
Yes,
I
sir.
just say
Pleasure
one
as
final
always.
thing?
Of course you can.
I just want to thank you and your channel as well, because the information that you guys gave with Cleo, with Juliana, and your inputs with Christina as well. I just think it's such a positive and informative channel that you're giving for everything that's going on at this moment in time. You've just hit it literally with half an hour to go. You've gone live, and actually you just there's a lot of people watching your channel and they're actually listening to what's going to happen. That will make their decision what they're going to do with this whether they come to this island or not. So thank you very much for that as well.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, any tourists watching, this does not affect your holiday.
No.
It
No,
does
not at all.
not affect your holiday. We have protocols in place to keep you safe. The mask thing is probably going to be gone on Saturday. You're not going to be meeting up with more than 4 people anyway.
No,
so
entry to the island is exactly
entry
the
to the
same
island
as
is
it
exactly the
was.
same. So do not
Don't cancel your holiday.
don't cancel your holiday. Right.
We want to see you here,
Yeah.
but only in groups of 4, please.
I just want to see. I'm just going to do a rim shot. It might be loud. Be careful. It wasn't that loud. That's good. Because we're going to go out with Vamos a la Playa. Are we ready, girls? Mm-hmm. Are we ready, guys? We're going to dance.
Go on, Dan. See
Are
them
we
hands,
ready?
Dan.
Go number 8.
Vamos a la playa.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on to Balcony Banter today. What we have Christina. We have Giuliani. We have Cleo. We have Dan. And we got Rick doing the hand jive.
And big up Tim.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yup.
Don't forget, I go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:55. And starting next Tuesday, I'm going to carry on my walks as long as my back holds out. And vamos a la playa, my friends. We'll see you in the summer, and the summer lasts all year. What's the temperature, Dan?
28.
28.
All day.
Every day. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening,
Ciao, ciao.
watching.
Stay on, guys.